Hi YouTube. Today we have with us one of the legends of the Indian Counter-Strike scene.
Hey YouTube, rite2ace here. What's up? Hello.
Let's go back to your starting days. How did you get into Counter-Strike? How did that interest in esports spark? And how did
Ah,
you make it to the pro scene?
okay. When I was a kid, I used to go at my cousin's place to play, Mario and those type of games, like maybe Prince, Sky. Those were like the new games on the PC. Getting a computer also was a big thing back then. Like not everyone could afford it. And then somehow internet cafes, gaming cafes became a thing in India. And I think I was in second grade, and I was introduced to Counter Strike. Like I think 1.5 was the game which I first played, but that was just for fun. And when I used to visit my aunt, there was a gaming cafe near her place, and I got so addicted to it. So whenever we used to go, like my family, I used to ask my mom to leave me at the gaming cafe first, let me play for a couple of hours, and then I will come and like for the weekend, like our plan was to like Friday, okay, school sab khatam ho gaya abhi, चाहते हैं आंटी के घर पे will enjoy the weekend, but my thing was okay, मुझे वहां पे पहुंच के पहले कैफे में गेम खेलना है, or then I will come and say hi to auntie, and then the whole night will stay and chill, whatever. So in that cafe, Counter Strike 1.6 was very popular. NFS bhi khelte the. That was also very much I was into it, but Counter Strike just made it feel natural for like a tag shooter game. I started playing. There was this thing called Orange Box, like which you could buy. It had like Half Life 2, whatever. I never played those. I just played Counter Strike 1.6. Never played Portal or any other games from Steam. I just enjoyed playing Counter Strike online, and that's how I was introduced to Counter Strike. Yeah.
So a little further down the line, you were at the 2014 major, and
Yeah.
can you talk us through your memories from that major? You went up against NIP. So how was the feeling? How do you put that into words?
Okay, yeah, this is the most asked question when I'm streaming or whenever people are very much interested in me and my journey. Like, how was your major experience? Because that's a very big thing. Uh, Going back a little, like in the 2012 era when the game just launched, we were the team who were dominating the region. It was like we played under this banner called 80 Gaming, and it was a very known brand back then. But we never got paid as such. Like we are just, you keep the name and you can keep the name higher because 80 Gaming was the brand we played, and it was managed by Karthik Rao. Who was the manager back then for 80 Gaming during the Counter Strike 1.6 days, and we were invited to ESWC 2013, and but we had to pay for from our own pockets. That was my first international exposure of Counter Strike, and I was very much like flustered. Okay, this is a thing. Okay, I can go and compete outside also, and we started grinding the game a lot during that period. And 2014, I think the major was the ESL Cologne, and there was a team from Sweden, I think LGB, Jinka slot, I think got cancelled. I don't know for whatever reasons. And Nordwind Gaming just came into the scene and they got the rights to host ESL India. And like luckily fortunately India had a slot directly to the major. Like there were no minors, there were no qualifiers for the Asia region, but India had a direct slot to the major in Cologne because of this scenario which happened with one of the team attending the major. And I think we won the qualifiers. It was online, and it was against I think Virtual Impact back then, like my ex teammate DNM Snorlax versus them. We won the finals and we qualified for the major. Going to the major, I think our first game was once versus NIP. They were the favorites for the event. It was amazing playing against Forest, Get Right. The players who you idolized for so many years, watching Counter Strike, playing Counter Strike 1.6. Um, I would say like we didn't do great at that major, but I think we got a lot of experience, and whatever practice we could do with that small boot camp period. I think we got Kasar as a coach, who is now part of Bleed for their CS2, whatever they are pursuing. Whatever we could do in that small 10 days of boot camp, I think we did our best. And going there, we were the underdogs. We did we did good at pistol rounds, but mid rounds and those things were very not new to us, but we were not very experienced enough to tackle those versus those calibers of players. But we are getting there. It's we are not like back, and we are putting the effort. I think everyone is doing that. Um, talking about the experience for the major, I think that's what I used to discuss with my viewers, my fans. um, Esports is a very new thing, and back then also in Europe, it was a very big game expo in Germany. But whenever we were walking around the venue or just at the area wearing the jersey, the respect we got from everyone around there, it's like just people just watched and okay, he's a sports like esports athlete, which you get for a Indian sports athlete like Virat Kohli Pakad or any like badminton or any chess player or anything. That type of respect, I think we are getting recognized right now post COVID. But in 2014, when I went to the major, I think that experience, that feeling of okay, people recognize this, and they're giving me a respect. Okay, I felt very good from inside. Okay, I'm not doing something to waste my time also. Like, yeah, okay, it's my passion. So, okay, people just recognize, okay, this is something not everyone can do, and they respect the hustle or the passion which someone is putting to represent their country, come all over from India, and just giving his hearts out to play the game he loves. So yeah, that was interesting experience for me.
And leading up to Valorant's launch, like I
Yeah,
think 16 and 18, they were good years for Indian Counter Strike. Lots of IPs, lots of tournaments, everything.
correct. Yeah, yeah,
But then there was that switch to Valorant that many made. And
yeah.
from your end, can you personally walk us through what led up to the movement and how that decision was taken?
Okay. So yeah, 2016, even 2017, and even 2018 were a good years for Counter Strike in South Asia. I would just tell you something which I people might not know. Counter Strike in South Asia, like in India, was not very huge, but we had a lot of IPs, which you said, right? A lot of events. ESL India was a thing. Mountain Dew, Asus ROG, Zoe, Extreme Zan, numerous events were happening on a monthly basis, like even good LAN events. Coming to the Asian region, South Asia was still, I mean, they were very good at the game. I'm not saying, but not of the region wise, it wasn't Counter Strike wasn't very popular. Like mobile games were very popular because 2018 I was in Indonesia playing under XCN. Mobile esports like Mobile Legends or something. I think that's the game. It was very popular. Counter Strike wasn't very popular. Like domestic events, nothing. Like hardly any events I played. But yeah, they used to have like Southeast Asia qualifiers, and I think it's similar with Valorant right now also. But I'm like grateful like India like brands are supporting PC titles, and it's a growing market, and I'm happy. Coming to 2020, like 2019 era, for me personally, I just felt how Valve maybe started neglecting the Asia overall the region, and that sort of led to the downfall of interest of people even watching the game or even playing the game in Asia. And when COVID happened, I think a lot of things happened together. Project A, I mean Valorant, it was in the beta phase, and a lot of the big creators of BGMI slash PUBG PUBG Mobile, they had no choice but to try other games to stream. They had their streaming deals or whatever, and they had to put something out content. And I think Valorant was the perfect. It had the perfect timing, and it just boomed the Asian scene because everyone could play the game. It was, I would say, mechanically easy compared to Counter Strike. People could adapt faster. It brought up some fresh elements of Apex and Overwatch in terms of agents and abilities, and gave a fresh look for a tactical FPS. And I think Riot did put in the effort to market the game in all the small regions where Counter Strike couldn't do it, and it's still happening. Like you can see, Europe and Brazil are the two most popular CS bases, you can say. But Valorant has done something which it's harder to conquer all over the world. Like you can say it's a true global FPS title, which is every region has their own storyline, and it has been doing great. So I'm happy for it.
And in your time as a Valorant player, was
Yeah.
there anything like maybe a particular mechanic or that gut feeling that made you went like, man, I miss Counter Strike?
Um, I did. I mean, counter strafing is a very important aspect of Counter Strike when you are doing, and it's something which is not much needed in Valorant, but basic movements of a character or the player model, you can see the skill ceiling when you put in the work in your movements. In Counter Strike, you can see the difference, and that is something I did miss. um Nothing else. I enjoyed Valorant as much as I was playing the game, because when I'm competing, if I'm not enjoying the game, I'm not motivated, I don't think so I can do my best at all. So when CSGO like, it was like in the verge of decline in India back in 2020. I think February 2020 ESL India was the last event which I played, and we won that event. I remember it was a winter ESL. After that, slowly my motivation towards the game faded away, and I was like, I think I can't compete if I'm not motivated enough, if I can put in the hard work. Why should I waste my teammates time, my time, or even the org which I'm representing? And at the same time, Valorant was just on its verge of launching, and I did play the beta, and I was like very much okay, this is something, a fresh start. Maybe I can start putting the effort in this and see how it takes me. And it has been a fun 3 years, right? Like, I started from the beta. I think I did good. I'm happy. I could whatever I could achieve in this past 2.5 years, 3 years, and starting my new journey with Counter Strike 2, which we can talk further.
We see a lot of 14-year-olds, 16-year-olds grinding and putting in the hours, everything right now.
Yeah.
And Counter Strike 2 just came out, and we can probably say it's a brand new game at this point. And the change of mechanics, the smokes, the way Molotovs work, everything. Do you think that the refreshment that gave the kind of meta it reset, did that have an impact on your decision to come back to Counter Strike?
Um, I wouldn't say it didn't. Like, I would say the game is an upgrade. It's not a totally new game. Mechanics are similar. Okay, you need to grind a lot to get the spraying is little not different, more tighter. It's like it won't be a replica. It's a new game, because like Valve has to put in something new, because it's CS2. It's not CS:GO or something like that. Like, it's a brand new game, but it's an upgraded CS2. And yeah, there are cool the new smokes, the way it works. It's interesting. Like, you can see all the matches, how people are using it, and how effective it comes. Like, I mean, with time, people will adapt to it, but it's not something that made a decision, okay, I need to switch from from Valor to CS2. It's something, what how Valorant is playing out. I sort of not lost motivation, but I didn't enjoy what was happening, like, with how the tournament structure is happening in Valorant, with partnership and challengers, and how they are neglecting the tier 2 scene, which started from 2023. I just felt a little heartbroken how the game is taking the path. And seeing CS2 is coming, it did refresh some memories of, okay, this is my roots. Maybe I can try and see if I can come back, because 3 years is a long time to leave a game and come back. Like, it's not an easy task, but it's a journey which I want to experience again, and I want to put in the work, and be the best Counter Strike 2 player again in the region, and try to bring a positive mindset of players, like, help the scene grow in that sense, like playing with players who are dedicated to play Counter Strike, I guess.
With CS2's release, with your new team, you've been a part of various tournaments. You've been
Yeah.
in One Code Frontier recently, I think.
Yeah.
So, how has your Counter Strike 2 experience been so far, as a casual player and as a professional player? What would you like to say on
Okay.
that front?
Yeah. Casual player. I mean, I have been enjoying playing with my friends, but I'm also trying to grind, because 2024 might have a good roadmap for the game. I've been hearing rumors there are big events. I think two important events are also announced. Like, there are major qualifiers happening soon in January, and Blast also announced the India versus Pakistan event, which is happening in the month of Jan and Feb. So I'm preparing. Starting my journey, we found a couple of players who wanted to play with us, but it didn't pan out our way, because we are not part of any org right now. And then people might get offers from other team, and we couldn't find that stability. But I'm just enjoying the grind. Like, I'm putting the effort. I'm not at my 100% yet. Like, I am not very good at the game yet. I need to relearn what I have forgotten in the past 3 years, get also adapted to the current meta, what's happening. And also CS2 is a brand new game, so you need to think faster. What you can, what X factor you can bring in a team. And me and Mars have been trying to grind it together, and we you might hear some good news soon. That's all I can say for now.
Let's take a trip back to the past once again.
Yeah.
If you had to pick out a phase and say this was the best phase of my Counter Strike career, I enjoyed this the most,
Yeah.
which would that be?
Uh, Everyone would expect me to say about the major. Okay, that's a very important part, that a tournament. But for me personally, I've always told, there was this event called Zoe Extremes in 2016, and it was one of the event which I played after a break. Like after 2014, I took a small, not small, it was like a 3 to 4 months of total reset from gaming. I thought I might just leave gaming and pursue something related to what I was thinking when I was a young kid. I wanted to be a software engineer. Wanted to be an IT professional. I'm a geek. I'm a nerd. I used to like computers. I used to study. I used to code at start, but then Counter Strike just took over. Gaming just took over. Some sports activities also took over. So that part of me just neglected that stuff, and I thought, okay, I might just leave gaming and pursue studies. Studying computer science. But after taking a 3 4 months of break and trying to do it, I did get offer, not offer, just my friend requested we need a sub in, and I started playing for fun again. And I just like, okay, no, I can't. Like, I can't leave gaming. I think it's something just inbuilt, and it just woke something up, and I started grinding CS again, and that's how I came back. And 2016 was an event which I wanted to prove I'm one of the best, and we did beat the favorites. I think Brutality were there, Invisible Wings, and I think Dare to Dream. Those three were the teams, and we were the four teams, Invictus. And no one expected us to win that event and represent India in Shanghai, China. I mean, it was the first Zoe iteration. Like they had every year, 2016, 17, 18, 19. I think after that, due to COVID, it didn't happen. But I think they have it 2023 for invite based only. No qualifiers are happening. I'm sad though. Uh, but yeah, that winning that event and representing India in China was one of my memorable events for myself in my Counter Strike journey.
And coming back to the present now, you've
Yeah,
been in the scene for quite a long time. I can safely say that you have a really good idea of what goes on behind the scene and in front as well.
yeah,
So we see a lot of orcs today that come into the scene, stay for like 4 5 months or
yeah,
maximum a year, and then they just step back from gaming.
yeah.
There is money in the Indian esports scene. There is that interest. There are a lot of players. There is good talent. What do you think are the shortcomings of these orcs, and why do you think they are not able to sustain?
I would first say I'm not gonna say about the salary or something. Like, okay, that's something which needs to understand what is like a perfect. There won't be a perfect salary. Of course, a player who has experience is gonna ask more. Who are new in the scene, they might get offered less. That's how it works in sports or any other industry. But or also needs to focus on like merchandise content around the team, which I think a lot of orgs coming in the scene, they lack in making that foundation of uh, not just a team. It's supposed to just play, win events. No, that's not how it's going to work. You have to also get brands on board. And how are the brands going to get on board if you don't show what is your org capable of? And you need to give your players the exposure, put in money where it also matters. Like, how would I put it? I think GE has done a good job in that sense in India. I'm just talking about brands in India, but not other orgs could do it. Even when I was part of VLT, Buzzer City Gaming, during Valorant days, I think we couldn't capitalize what we were achieving in terms of esports. But yeah, we needed to put showcase brands. Like, it comes from business point of view. I'm very bad at it. I'm not saying I'm the best, but you can look at the orgs outside India, how they operate, how they put out content when there is also an announcement, or they're making content, how the players are interested also to make content. I think that should be mandatory in contracts. So, or also needs to sustain. It's like prize money is not gonna be like, prize money is nothing. Like, you can't sustain with prize money. Okay, most of the orgs who are coming in India are like passion project. It's, they know like they're putting the money, it's gonna get burned. But eventually after some years, maybe like 1 year down the line, 2 years down the line, they had to have to start get some returns. Otherwise, orgs will just leave the scene. And to sustain, I think it's the whole ecosystem which needs a not a reset, but some understanding how it should be done.
Really big debate that's going on right now, that mobile esports scene versus the PC scene.
Yeah,
And there's obviously the accessibility factor for the mobile esports scene. Like, it's easy to have an access.
yeah.
What do you think separates both of them apart from accessibility? Do you think there is a difference in that skill ceiling by any chance?
See, I have never played mobile esports titles in even in a casual sense, so I can't compare if ceiling is a thing. But I would say, compared to PC gaming, right? Like, okay, there's a taboo. Okay, PC घर पे देते नहीं है parents. Like, if you tell them, like, I give you a budget of 1 lakh rupees, okay? If you go and tell your parents, I want a PC, but मेरा 1 लाख रुपए budget है, okay? मुझे दे दो. They would say no. मैं तुझे 1 लाख रुपए का मोबाइल दूंगा चाहिए तो, so you can get a good iPhone. But that's the harsh reality. Okay, that's how it is in India. I think most of the Asian countries, maybe I'm wrong, but at least in India, majority it happens. But right now PC gamers are also coming. It's not like it's not happening. There are gaming cafes, people are going gaming cafes and playing there. But when it comes to accessibility, yeah, that's one thing. But what I saw with this, right, because of how accessible mobile is and how you can play on b- not play, I mean the quantity of the players, right? You have so much talent pool, and because of that you can find so much talent. And how do I put it? Like, if I compare with PC talent and mobile esports talent, there are so many talents in mobile esports. I think I can say because of the huge popularity and accessibility, it benefits the whole ecosystem because there are so many people invested in it. Like, I'm not talking in terms of money, talking about orgs, brands, players. But when you come to PC esports, right, I hardly see a breakthrough where a 17-year-old and an 18-year-old, okay, like, we don't have a pull. That's the same thing which was happening in Valorant. When we are trying to find a talent, like new talent, hardly anyone is playing the game. Like, it we had like a 50 people pool, that's it. And they are getting recycled or something. Like, very hard to generate new players because it's a taboo. PC gaming, it's a taboo. But I have also seen the good side, like when I've seen some younger players, their parents are coming at the events, supporting them, giving interviews. I mean, if you know Techno, he's a player for Two Rippers. I saw his parents supporting him. RVK from Orangutan, his parents were also supporting him. And those are very young players in the scene. And I appreciate parents trying to learn what is PC esports, how it works. And, because parents can't blindly just accept what is gaming and how it works. They also need to invest some of their time to understand how is the business, how it goes, who is paying you. Otherwise koi bacha, he's not doing gambling or some wrong things to earn money. So I'm happy that parents are taking some time of their daily schedule and learning what the kid is passionate about. And in India, it's gonna be like that. Okay, mobile esports is gonna be at the top. You can't change that fact. But yeah, what you can do is try to get PC esports slowly on that level where that's also a known factor. And I think the 2020 pandemic and the PUBG ban also sort of gave some exposure to the PC esports scene in India. And I think you can see a lot of Valorant fans right now. And I hope for CS2 people, I wouldn't say like it should be the same, but people show some interest because Counter Strike was the game which everyone used to play as kids, and that's how even Valorant also came because the developers of Valorant are ex Counter Strike players. They have played Counter Strike, and that's inspired. So I'm just happy I can just enjoy, not enjoy. I mean, I can do something I'm very passionate about and grateful for it.
Okay, since we're on the
Yeah,
topic of support,
yeah.
in your Counter Strike career or esports career as a whole, if you had to name a particular individual or two or three people who stood by you and supported you the most in your career, who would that be?
I would say my mom is my number one supporter. and she has been supporting me since I was like a teenage kid just playing computer games. And she was trying to always understand why he's investing so much time in this, like what he's gonna do from it. And back in 2014, when I did earn my first salary by playing in Team Wolf back in the major, okay, she understood this is something he's very passionate about, and I don't want to ruin his chances in this. Maybe I'll just keep supporting him and not I would say that's the most important part, getting support from your own parents for doing something which is not even recognized back then. Like esports was something I couldn't explain. Okay, mom, see, hey, ये ऐसा रहता है, ये ऐसा रहता है, ऐसे events होते हैं, organizations होते हैं, they employ you, you play for them, blah blah blah. Who is gonna understand? But my mom took in the effort and always supported me, never gave me any you know how would I say, like to either like why did you choose this part. Instead of that, she's like always understanding, okay, what's going wrong in you, and giving some solution or just supporting me day by day. And yeah, I'm just happy I have the greatest support for esports, because I understand how hard it would be for any parents to just ask their kid, but Brandy, okay, you go play the game which you love. And yeah, but it's not going to work in countries like India. Yeah, maybe in NA and EU or even China, Korea, where the ecosystem of esports is very different. But in countries like India, it's hard. And I'm slowly agreeing parents are giving their kids, the freedom to explore what they love. But I would also suggest players or young players who are watching this, do not escape from your studies. Try to balance, get a degree, and then try to pursue esports. And if you can convince your parents, okay, I'm very good at this, because not everyone can do this. It's like 1% of the population can actually be good at playing games and competing at the higher level. So don't neglect your studies, complete your studies, focus on your degree also, and try to manage both. And if you have that in you, and you need certain amount of luck is also needed, and if you put in the work, I think, yeah, you can achieve, everyone can achieve this. Like it's amount of how much you want it in the end, not only esports, everything in your life.
And when you returned to Counter Strike, were there any challenges that came in front of you, and if any, what were they?
Okay, yeah, coming like taking a break from Valo, just taking a mental reset and focusing. Okay, I thought, can I even do it? Like, okay, like it's a shift. I wouldn't say backwards, but it's coming back to your old roots. But with my age, I'm now 30 years old, but I'm still that passionate young kid who likes to play games. That's what he has been doing all his life. I have that fire, and I want to keep competing till I have that motivation. My only concern was, can I adapt faster or can I learn the game faster? And I think I'm doing a pretty good job at it. It's not like I don't want to be the burden to my teammates who will be in the future playing Counter Strike, but rather than they accept me even for my past, like leaving CS for Valorant and coming back. I just want to be the X factor for my team, be the team support, whatever they need, whatever experience I've learned. Maybe they learn something from me. Maybe I can learn something from them. It's not like I'm perfect or they are perfect. That's how a team works. You need to share your knowledge, and I just hope I can for 2024. I think I can give my best and uh, make my like fans or people who have been following Counter Strike some good thing from good. They can see some good things from me.
And the final question to wrap
Yeah,
things up:
yeah,
how are you planning to proceed further? Like, what are your plans for the future? And if anything, would you like to say something to your fans or the community?
yeah. So I have been approached by an org. I wouldn't say anything, but the names, because it's not finalized, so I don't want to jinx it. It's still in talking terms. Um, Mostly by weekend or next week, it's maybe gonna be a we will get a final roster, or if like final players puzzle. We are trying to find players who are interested in playing with me and the team which I'm trying to form. That's all I can say for now. And yeah, they are interested because they are a new org. They are interested in supporting the PC esports in India. They do have a Valo squad also, and as CS2 coming in the region, I mean CS2 launching, and couple of events announced. I think they think it's a great chance to enter the scene, and if they can see like they, I mean, of course the org respects me as a player who has been in the scene for so long, so they are taking the gamble of going forward with me and trusting me, and I hope I don't let them down and put in the work and show them, like my team can also be the best in our region. Right now, like we have hard shoes to fill. There are a couple of teams like God's Reign, True Rippers, and I think Enigma. Those are the teams to beat in the region, and I hope my team can also be at that level and compete with them. And of course, like whenever some qualifiers for Asia are happening, do good. It will take time. It's not going to be an easy task, but I'm hopeful for the journey, and I think I can give my best in Counter Strike.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's a wrap for today with Tejas Right to Ace 7th. Stay tuned for more.
Thank you for tuning in, guys. Please subscribe to Dust2.in. Thanks for having me. Bye bye.